Hello there. I thought I would do a quick review of a product I recently spotted on my local shelf. This is Larsen Aqua Ignis Cognac. Now, I'll give you the details on this after the initial tasting notes. But what attracted me to this is, first of all, the price point is like 45 bucks, which isn't too bad for cognac standards. And the strength, this is not 40%, this is 42.3, which is, I mean, especially for this price point, that's really, really nice to see. The only other cognac I can think of in that price range that's higher is that's higher than 40% is the Ferrand 1840. Which it's fine. It's probably, if I were interested in buying anything in the range, that would be the one. But it seems I love to see competition in the arena of cognac strong enough to do like serious mixing with. So let us give this a whirl, see how it does. All right. No age statement on this, but it's cognac, so it has to be at least 2 years old. Let's see what we got. On the nose. So this is extremely on the far end of like woody and fruity. So we're getting like lots of dried fruit, golden raisins, dried apricots, prunes. It's very sort of dessert cognac-y. And then lots of like milk chocolate. Tootsie Roll. There are Tootsie Rolls in this. Some tea notes like Lipton's tea, but you know, you put some care into your Lipton's tea. You threw the extra tea pack in to make it a little more serious. That kind of thing. And a little bit of a floral thing, just some garden flowers. It's a fairly simple nose, but it's coherent. It's nice. A little more desserty stuff, like a scoop of vanilla ice cream in there. Yeah, it's very dessert. It's very simple, but it holds together. It's doing what it intends to do very well, and that's great. That's okay. On the palate. So it does get slightly syrupy on the back end. So this could be dosed, but the fact that I can't say for certain, that's a good sign. If it's dosed, it's very lightly dosed, and it could just be like some woody cognacs, fruity cognacs just come across as, you know, just kind of sweet. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Again, the palate mostly follows the nose. This is very sort of dessert driven, which is okay with me. Yeah. Tootsie Rolls again. Raisins, prunes, dried cherries, dried apricots. A little bit of like a muddled mint kind of thing. Very light on the herbaceousness, but it's there. Slightly floral, a little bit more floral on the palate than it is on the nose too. A little like a potpourri thing. Again, just a hint. Some tea notes, like some old tea leaves, but also like especially on the finish, there's some overstewed tea, and some like pink peppercorns. And I thought the finish is actually like it's a decent little finish. Like it holds on pretty long. It's got some sweet tea kinds of things going on, Tootsie Roll things, that little minty potpourri touch. This is solid. And for the competition at this price point, that's really all it needs to be. Give this a couple drops of water and we'll go back to it. Let me tell you about this. All right, so this is from Larsen. You may not have heard of Larsen, but they're actually one of the largest cognac houses beyond the Big Four. So they're not up there with Camus, but I think they're maybe sixth or seventh. So they are owned by the Anora Group, which so basically this is a Norwegian guy went down to cognac and fell in love with it and started making this stuff, and it is extremely popular in Northern Europe. So currently owned and run by the Anora Group in Finland and Norway, and they get lots of distribution up in there. Not so much in the U.S. yet, but we'll see how this guy goes. Now the selling point on this is what they're doing to the oak. What they're calling this a steam fire process. It is triple steam brasero toasted barrels, which basically means they are making the barrels wet before they toast them, so they get all steamy. The idea being you're extracting more of the sort of chocolatey flavors out of them or something. I don't know. Okay, fine. Sounds great. What I can tell you is that this seems like a very well thought out product, but it reminds me in some ways of the Busker pot still Irish whiskey I reviewed a little while ago, in the sense that's also a product that was faced with it seemed like it started with a very aggressive, difficult price point for its category, and then made a lot of intelligent decisions. This same kind of way with this one. It's the fruit from this is all Fanbois and Bonbois. So it's the areas further out away from the city of Cognac. They're not paying the money for champagne fruit here. This is the stuff that's built to go better at a younger age. And it's a great choice for a bottling like this. So basically what they did was they said, let's, get less expensive, but good, different, not sort of floral style of fruit. Let's, pound the heck out of it with oak and bottle it at higher strength to, present it as well as it can. And it basically works. Yeah, I mean, this is... So compared to something like the Ferrand 1840, this is a little bit lower in strength. That's 45. This is 42 and change, and that's all Grand Champagne as I recall. And it's more distillate driven, which normally I would be on that side, but it's a little bit of a mess. That feels like they just had some cheap stock that they decided to throw together and bottle it at 45 because then they could say, hey, it's a mixing cognac. This feels like they had a flavor profile that they thought they could hit with their budget, and they actually pulled it off. Like, this feels like a coherent, well thought out thing. Is it my favorite, spirit in the world? No, absolutely not. But for the entry level $40 cognac price point, this is actually kind of impressive. All right, let's get some tasting notes on the table now that it's had some water, though. See how it changes. I don't really expect cognac at this price point to change or develop much with the addition of water or with time in the glass, but we shall see. But this one does a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it's throwing more apple kinds of characteristics at me. A little bit more white pepper, and I wasn't getting a lot of coffee notes on the nose before, but now they're coming out. There's sort of a, it's sort of like you're in a hotel room and there's a Keurig there and you just need some coffee, so you make some Keurig coffee, and then you add some cream and sugar, which you wouldn't normally do, but it came out of a Keurig, so you need to make it drinkable. That's kind of what I'm getting on the nose, but nice. Right, on the palate, also some nice development on the palate. Really, it intensifies and extends the finish quite a bit. The wood, the kind of chocolatey nature of the wood comes out to play. And actually, the syrupiness, I was worried about it actually recedes a little bit, which is nice. I'm impressed with this. Like as a sipper, this is okay. I'm gonna give this 82 plus out of 100. This is all right. So it's not. So to go back to my, I've talked before about what my ratings actually mean, and I've tried to lay them out in the Dave Tate shit suck good great rubric. On that scale, this is not good, but it ain't shit either. Like this is, for analogy, this is a guy with the worst genetics in the world who's worked his way up to a 285 squat, right? That's kind of what this is. Is it good? On a global scale, no, this is not all that good. But relative to the starting point, to the limitations involved, this is okay. This is solid. And that's my rating as far as like Glencairn glass goes. But I do want to also consider this as a mixing cognac, because this seems, I mean, for the kinds of drinks that demand cognac, this seems like it would work actually pretty well. Potentially better than the Ferrand. So I'm gonna give it a shot. What drink shall we make? Sidecar, too obvious, and I've already done sidecars. Plenty of options out there for drinks, but let's do one that was originally a cognac drink and now, for the most part, isn't any longer, but we're going to make it one again. Let's do a Sazerac. Let us do a Sazerac. So I'm going to start with some sweetener in my mixing. I'm not going to shake this. I'm just going to mix in there. Now, a lot of mixologists, bartenders who should be interested in this kind of product, right, will use Demerara cubes or syrup. I'm going to take that a step further and use cane syrup. I love this stuff. If I had a corporate sponsor for different spirits, this would be the one. I love Steens. So I'm going to I'm just going to eyeball this. A bit of cane syrup. That's like a teaspoon and a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add some bitters, and I'm going to use Peychaud's. I'm going to use a lot of bitters. I feel like if you're making a Sazerac, you need to lean hard into the black licorice aspect of it. If you aren't doing that, you're just making it old-fashioned. So, let's go hard into anise territory. I'm using 5 dashes of Peychaud's. By the way, is anyone else like leaning hard into their Peychaud's now that they've noticed how expensive Angostura has gotten? I've got like a quarter of my little bottle of Angostura left, and I am like terrified of when that runs out because I'm worried about the money I'm going to have to pay for a new bottle. Because I mean, geez, the little tiny things are like $12 now. Anyways, what is the next step of this? So, all right, I'm gonna add my ice. Here is the glass I'm gonna drink out of. I'm gonna put a spit of absinthe in here. Give it a nice rinse. Now I'm gonna measure this. You just literally coat the glass with absinthe. I'm gonna use Kubler, which is neutral grain spirit based and not grape based. So it's not the best for sipping, but it actually, in my opinion, it kind of makes things easier when you're doing cocktails with it. So I'm just gonna coat the glass a little bit. All right, and now for our cognac, do 2 ounces of Larsen's Aqua Ignis cognac. In it goes. And for fun, this is something I like to do. I am going to add a splash of rye. Not too much. You don't want the spirits fighting, but I'm going to add literally a splash of a particularly herbaceous rye. I'm going to go with New Riff here. Just to add a little bit more to the herbaceous side of this. Now, I cannot find my bar spoons, so I'm just going to use my coffee spoon here. Stir, stir, stir. Actually, I didn't bring the top for my shaker here, so I'm going to have to get creative in pouring this. Stay in the glass. Oh, and I cut a very crappy lemon peel. Here we go. That's very nice, actually. So you're not getting the floral notes you would get with a Bordeaux cognac or a champagne, or even a champagne cognac at the base of this, but it's cleaner. Like you're getting the sort of fruity, desserty, woody notes more cleanly here, and that is playing better with the the kinds of black licorice-y, anisey things from the absinthe and from my Peychaud's. That is a darn fine Sazerac right there. All right, that's all I got for this. 82 points. Highly recommended for bar owners and mixologists and all y'all out there, or people just looking for good cheap cognac. Thanks for watching, and cheers.